Okay, so drafting settings wise now, I've got Polar, OSnap, O-Track and Dynamic switched on. I leave those switched on all the time when I'm working in AutoCAD, AutoCAD Electrical, whichever flavour of AutoCAD I'm working in. What we're going to do now is look at line weight here, LWT. If I click that on, you'll see that line weight is on, tells you that on the command line. Click on it again, and line weight goes off. It is purely an on-off switch, that's all it does. What I'm going to do is change the properties of the layers of the lines in this drawing. So I'm going to select the external lines, like so. And to change the properties, I'm going to put them on a different layer. Don't worry about layers, we will look at that later on in the course. In the Layers panel here, in the Home tab on the ribbon, I've got some pre-prepared layers. I'll put those lines on the external layer by clicking on the word external. And you'll see they go that blue colour, the same colour as the layer. It's a cyan colour. I'll hit Escape there to deselect those lines like so. What I'm going to do now is select the internal lines, do the same thing again, make sure I select them like that, and put those on the internal layer so they go red, and then hit Escape to deselect. Now one of those layers has got a different line weight associated with it. So if I switch on LWT at the bottom here, you'll see that the external layer has a heavier line weight than the internal layer. You normally use this for highlighting and showcasing things that you want to stand out on a drawing. If I click on LWT again, just sets all the line weights back to the same default setting. If I go up to the layer properties here, there's my external layer there with all its properties. You'll notice, look, it's got a 0.5mm line weight. However, that only displays if the line weight toggle is on down on the status bar. The rest of the time, the lines just display this default setting. So I'll close the layer properties, and again, when I switch line weight on, there's the highlighted layer with its heavier line weight. If I switch line weight off, like so, it goes back to the default line weight again. Now, if I right-click on LWT, are there any settings there? No. All you can see are enabled, use icons. Click there though, and you can do it this way. There's no actual settings like object snaps, but what you can do is apply line weight settings. So you can see here, I've got all the settings there. Units for listing are in millimeters in this case. I could change that to inches. I can display the line weight. I can adjust the display scale as well. So what I can do there is I can adjust the default there and display all line weights at that setting and avoid switching LWT on, for example. I can also set those to inches, and you'll notice now the line weights display in inches. So when I'm setting those in my layer properties, they will display in inches. If I go back to millimeters now, you'll see it goes back to millimeters. So there are some settings there, but they're more settings in the traditional sense, as in the background, rather than like with object snaps where you can toggle and switch things off and on all the time. I'll click on OK there now and leave everything as it was. And that's your line weight, your LWT setting in the status bar in AutoCAD Electrical.